Well, welcome to Microsoft Word training here at Heartbeat Christian Academy, and we are at lesson number 17. Can you believe it? And today we're going to be formatting pictures. So after today, if you don't already know, you will know how to format pictures, which is very exciting, I would say. It's nice to be able to format pictures, and you will see that there's a lot you can actually do in Word with pictures. Many of the features, I must be honest, we never use. Others we will use frequently after we know how to use them. Just again, our banking details. If you want to support our ministry, there's the banking details. And if you want to contact us to order a manual, or you require the notes, or you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me there. And without any further ado, let's go and look at what we're going to be learning today. It's quite a mouthful, so I'm going to push forward and see how fast we can get through formatting pictures. You need to be able to pass the assessment. There's quite a bit of things you need to know how to do. We're going to start with the cropping of an image. We're going to work with cropping an image into a shape, which is quite a nice little trick. Adding a border to a picture, adjusting the image, making image color corrections, to adjust the color in an image, to use artistic effects and styles, to compress a picture. I wonder if you knew you could compress a picture, make it a bit smaller inside your document so your documents are not that large, and then also to remove a background. And I'm sure many people didn't know that either, that you can remove backgrounds even in Microsoft Word. I know most of the time we think that you can only do that in Corel Draw and Photoshop, but you can do it in Word. It is slightly limited, but as long as you've got a good clear picture with a good, I would say almost neutral background, the same color background, as soon as there's a lot of things in the background, it can become quite tricky. And then I would obviously suggest that you possibly use something slightly different, like your Photoshops and your Corel Draws. So let's go to the manual and just look at the introduction. And again, I want to actually run with the manual and with the second screen to actually show you how to do everything. And we're going to start off by cropping the image. You already know how to actually get an image in. And just a quick recap from the previous lecture. If you don't know how, you go to insert, and then you go to insert the picture, and you find the picture that you want to insert. I've already inserted a flower here with a nice blue background, and this is specifically selected for my image to later on be able to remove actually the background. So the first thing we have to do is look at the crop command. And when you're on the home tab, as soon as you select your image, you will notice that there's a bit of a highlighting on the format tab here. If you go to the format, then all your effects become available. And right here on the sizing of your picture, you can actually put in the manual size of your picture. A lot of different platforms might require a specific size picture. But what we're going to be looking at is the crop command. The first crop command is when you just click on the down arrow, it gives you some different options. If you just use crop, it will highlight and give you little stripes on the side there. If you pull them in, you are actually cropping the areas. And as soon as you're happy that you've cropped out what you want to get rid of in the picture, if you push the enter key, it's actually cropped the picture. So that's the one way of cropping the picture, and I'm just going to go Control Z to just undo that. The other way to crop is to crop the picture to a specific shape. So say for instance I wanted this flower to show up inside of a shape, so maybe a shape like this, or maybe even a nice rectangular shape. You can now see that I've cropped it inside that shape. So and I can crop it into any shape that obviously will work with the image. But so that's pretty nice to crop it inside the shape. So let's look at what's next in the manual. Like I say, I want to follow the manual today, because else we might be missing some things. Here we're looking at first of all just doing a border. And if we go over to display 2 again, and just using the shape that we currently have at, once we're on the format tab and we've selected it, we can actually do the picture border, and just have a look there at the picture border, and we can change the weight of the border. And I'm making it a pretty heavy border, and then also I'm gonna go and just change the color of the border so that it's matches the flower. So that's basically how to change the border, and I'm sure that's quite easy to do. And just going down there, we are going to start looking at some of the color corrections, and let me just show you where that's at. Just going to the second display again. Here on the side, we've got the adjustment tab, and here we've got correction of color. So I can go here, and it's got some presets in there where I can actually adjust the color and see the live preview. So that is what is referred to as color correction, or correction, just and then here on this side we've got the color correction. So we've got the correction and we've got the color correction with the different tones, and like there's some more variations there. And you can also go to the color options and open up a tab on the side here where you can actually change the saturation and all sorts of things. But for our purposes, we need to know that you've got your corrections, you've got your color corrections, and then you've also got your artistic effects. So that's just some different artistic effects that's available as standard inside, and there's some effects options as well. If you open that up, you can again customize, but for our purposes we just need to know about the artistic effects. And then we've also got here the compression of the picture. So to compress the picture, you can actually make it smaller by compressing it. Once you click on the compress tab, it will normally by default use the document resolution. So your resolution of your document, you can then change it if you wanted to in the back-end settings, but the document resolution it will use, and this is normally fine. And you can compress the picture just to make it smaller so that your document size comes slightly down. So let's go back to the manual again and not lose track of what we've done so far. Just going through that, we've done some image adjustments. So we've made color corrections, which I've showed you, and then adjusting the color, and then also we've looked at the artistic effects, and we haven't looked at the applying of the styles yet. So let's go and look at that quickly. The styles are right here in the middle section, and once you open up the tab just here at the bottom, you can see the different styles that you can use. That's predefined styles, where you've got some very, very nice effects. I've actually used some of these before in my documents, where it really looks professional. I mean, you can already see you know, how beautiful this photo looks now with that application of the style there. And after we've looked at the applying of the styles, I've already shown you the compression of and I've given you the reason. It's most of the time when you have to actually send documents and you don't want those documents to be too big, and you've got like 10 pictures, you want to compress them so that they will still be quite good quality, but they will just look they will just make the document size smaller. And then the last thing we have to be able to do, I think it's the last thing, is the removing of the background. That's right. So as you can see, we've covered all of that in there, and we've actually done it quite fast, much faster than I thought we would be able to do it. And now I'm going to just show you how to remove the background, just going back here to display 2. And if you want to remove the background, once again, you select your picture and you go to format, and then there's a background removal tab there. Once it's opened up and identified this, just make sure it's selecting the entire flower or the entire picture, so that you don't crop off portions of it, because it's trying to identify the specific image in the middle. And it's actually done this very well because of the fact that that the background is quite neutral. So if I say keep changes, you'll see it's actually taken out the background very beautifully. Yeah, but you don't always get that result, unfortunately. And if you don't get the result where you have to make adjustments, you say there's a tab on the one side here that says mark areas to keep. So once you've selected that toggle tab, now you are marking areas that you want to keep. So say for instance there was something you wanted to keep there and there and there and there and there and there and there maybe and there. You mark areas that you want to keep. So that is the one side, and it will actually do that. And then you've also got your mark areas that you want to remove. So if there were specific areas that you wanted to remove, you would then put those there. So say you wanted to remove that, remove that, remove that, remove that there. As you can see, you just have to work with those two. And then also there's delete the marks, so you can actually go and remove your marks wherever you've placed those marks. And then you've got the accept changes or disregard changes. I mean, there's a mark there that is actually causing problems, so taking out all of those little marks there, and the effect is pretty beautiful. We've actually got our flower here, and when we've cut out the background, like I say, the result's not always that good. I've used a picture that actually has I would say if you look there, you can actually look at the undo right back to add background removal. You can go to difference, and it just starts going back to the point where it's actually not taken that off. So you've actually, that's pretty nice to do. So if there's anything else you need to know, you can contact me, but all of this is in the manual. And basically once you've selected your picture and you've got your picture in, you just need to read your screen. The things that you're going to be required to know is under the adjustment tab, mostly on this side for this section. And then also here you're going to be able to just use the styles. And then the other thing is just the picture border on this side. And obviously you know the others because we've done them in previous sessions. And then you need to be able to crop. You need to be able to crop it, just crop the picture in general, or crop it to a specific shape. And that's basically it. So I'm sure you will be able to actually now do what you're supposed to do. Let's just go to the manual again, and that's what you're supposed to do. You need to create a new document, insert a picture from a file, resize it by just pulling it on the sides, and then crop it, which you know, and then remove the background from the image. Experiment with different types of image corrections and color settings. Add artistic effects to the image. That's also on the left hand side of the screen normally, and then compress the image and then save the document. Normally save is just file, save as. So that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just doing some work on images. As I say, there's a lot you can do and how you can use these in your documents. You can actually use them because like the old adage says, a picture says more than 1,000 words. And if you can work well with pictures, you can actually have a very powerful document depending on what the document is supposed to do. These settings also work in PowerPoint. So if you're a preacher or a teacher and you're doing Sunday sermons and you want to tweak your pictures a bit, you can tweak them. I find actually that using Microsoft either PowerPoint or Word to just fix pictures quickly is actually probably one of the easiest ways of fixing pictures without having a high level of training as far as image editing is concerned. So even if you're preparing images for other things, you can actually fix them inside your Microsoft applications, which now gives you a bit more power to work with pictures. So let's just go back to the PowerPoint. We've covered all that we're supposed to cover for today's lecture. And as I said, that's going to be the instruction if you are doing the course for credit or you're doing the course to obtain a certificate, then you will need to actually be able to do everything that's on the screen there. We're getting to the end of the course, and I'll see you in lesson 18, And in lesson 18, we're going to be sharing and talking about working with headers and working with footers. So working with headers and footers. And we've actually covered quite a bit. We've covered, I would say, 17 different disciplines now that all work inside your Word document and that can all add value. So I'll see you in lesson 18, working with headers and working with footers. God bless you.